Okay, this is an update on the lapping table. I got 6 of these Sunstrand motors. I just want to show you what this looks like. It takes about 20 minutes to flatten these out. Here's one that's done. I did both of these. You can see here, this surface rides on here thin oil. That's where all the work's done. So you flatten both these out and it works like that. Okay, that's what it looks like after it's lapped. Okay, so that one's done. Now this is one before it's lapped. You can see, I mean, it's not real bad. This is a type of metal with some kind of a bronze or brass covering, like infused. I don't know how they do it, but it's about a 16th thick. Okay, so you know that's what it looks like before, and I've done a couple of them. You can see some differences here. You can see that this one here, it needs to go again. See, you can see that it's not totally flat. See the edges there? So both of these could go again. And you know, you want to do this when you're rebuilding because this is where all the work's done. Okay. Now, of course, if you get this apart and you big grooves in it, you're going to have a big, you know, basically it's garbage. But inside of these barrels, there's a spring. Okay, and this spring, there's a little bit of pressure that goes against this in the valve plate. Okay, and it rotates like that. And you want both these sort of perfectly flat, otherwise you're going to lose power. You can see that this one's been flattened out. So these aren't bad, but this is basically what it looks like. So we'll flatten it out here. And, you know, if you're doing a lot of this stuff, you really need one of these lapping tables, but the problem is you gotta justify the price for it. You know, you can also buy these new, but then, you know, if you're gonna pay $100 for that, you're starting to, you know, is it worth it? So, you know, these come in here, we're just resealing them and we're tightening these up a little bit so they can get some more use out of them. And, you know, the reason we got this thing a long time ago, in the beginning, we'd send them out to a bigger hydraulic shop, one of the big players, and I'd send 4 or 5 of these valve plates in and have them lap them because they had the machine and I didn't. And so that we were doing that, and it became a real pain in the butt. It'd take you a week to do all that. And then one time they sent me one back for a Vickers pump, and you can see that there's metal here. Well, they flattened it out to where you could see metal showing on the front of this. Well, that's no good, okay? If there's metal showing through the front, then you have metal on metal. So you can see these little spots in there. So what it was, they took it down too far, and then they sent it back to me and charged me, and I called them up and said, hey, man, you know, this thing's, you know, you got some spots there that it wore through. It's no good. Oh, no, we didn't do that. Well, you did do it, you know, and they tried to tell me they didn't do it and tried to bullshit me. Oh, our quality control, well, somebody fucked up, okay? So after that, we just mustered up the money and went and bought our own unit. And, you know, they're fairly expensive. That's a German lapping table. But, you know, you have to justify if it's worth it or not, depending on how much stuff you're doing. You know, we have the unit. We don't use it all the time, but when I do get something like this in, we go ahead and lap them, and it works out for us. So it's one of those things that's, you know, if you're going to be doing this, you got to be able to justify it. So that's what I'll show you there, and stand by for the next one.